Peace, family. This is Lions Den with another news and commentary. This article's from the Atlanta Black Star. Shout out to them. They make some very good articles. Prosecutors dropped charges against the 11-year-old tased by police in shoplifting incident. An 11-year-old girl shot by a police taser at a Cincinnati Kroger store this week won't face charges. The officer who deployed the dangerous weapon is facing plenty of scrutiny. However, the incident unfolded Monday as off-duty officer Kevin Brown investigated a group of girls suspected of shoplifting from the store, the Cincinnati Enquirer reported. Police said Brown approached one of the girls, but she ignored his commands to stop and continue walking out of the store. That's when the officer deployed his stun and hitting the child in the back. Police initially charged the girl with theft and obstructing official business, both of which were dismissed thanks to Mayor John Cranley. Tasing an 11-year-old girl who posed no danger to police is wrong, Cranley said in a statement. I'm sorry for the harm to her and her family, he added. This evening I called and asked Prosecutor Joe Dieters to drop charges against the girl. I am happy to report that he did, and I thank him for doing so. Amid the outrage, Cincinnati Police Chief Elliot K. Isaac promised a very thorough review of the officer's actions, as well as the department use of force policies regarding juvenile suspects. Local station WCPO 9 reported, Isaac added, it makes him extremely concerned when force is used by one of our officers on a child of this age. According to Cincinnati Police procedure, a taser can be used on anyone between the ages of 7 and 70. My goodness. The child's mother, Donna Gowdy, said it's time for that policy to change, however, and believes police could have handled the situation much differently. If you can't run, then you need to get off the police force, she told the station. If you can't handle an 11-year-old girl, then you really need to get off the police force. You're here to protect these kids. Gowdy acknowledged that her daughter, who was with a 9-year-old sister and a friend at the time, was stealing snacks from the store. After Monday's incident, the child was taken to Cincinnati Children's Hospital, where she was checked out, cleared, and eventually released back to her mother. Gowdy said there's still a mark on her daughter's back from where the taser struck, adding that she's still in pain. I don't want it to happen to nobody else, kids, because it could have been worse, she said. It could have been a gun. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video here and give you the rest of my commentary.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya O'Rourke. Craig McKee has the night off. A mom is demanding changes to a Cincinnati police policy after an officer used a stun gun on her 11-year-old daughter. Police say the off-duty officer was a police officer in the Kroger on Kennard Avenue when he spotted the girl walking away with a backpack full of items. They say the officer warned her to stop, and she refused. He then stunned her with a taser. 9 on Your Side has a team reporting for you on this particular issue. We begin with 9 on Your Side's Julie O'Neill, who is at police headquarters. Julie.
11 is young, but Cincinnati police policy states that the policy is actually that kids can be as young as 7 and be tased. And a lot of city leadership tonight feels like that needs to be changed.
I don't care if it's not your kid. Everybody has kids. Consider changing that. Consider changing it.
Donna Gowdy showing us the barb marks left by a taser in her 11-year-old daughter's back. Can't imagine the need for an even younger child to be tased.
Come on now. 7? Are you serious?
My daughter is 10 and a half, and it was very difficult for me to understand why an 11-year-old was tased.
Vice Mayor Christopher Smitherman now calling for a change in CPD policy to raise the allowable age for officers to use a taser on a suspect to 12.
That it's more of an appropriate age.
It was a compromise age, but I think we'll be much better served by using the principles that take the unique circumstances of each case.
Civil Liberties attorney Al Gerardstein worked with police to develop the policy in 2012 after a UC officer shot teen Everett Howard in the chest with a taser and he died.
There is a commitment in our policy now to using options other than physical force. It might be better than a physical takedown, but it should be a serious matter before you whip out a taser and use it.
Officers are now trained to shoot in the back, but they must always weigh the use of force against other safety risks. Fraternal Order of Police President Dan Hill says he's okay with changing the policy, but says the officer in question did follow procedure.
And for everybody to knee-jerk and pile on in this case, just because they want to use the age number, to me is wrong.
Smitherman filed a motion with the city today. We will stay on top of that. Meantime, the Citizen Complaint Authority, which is supposed to investigate matters such as these, will not be able to interview the officer due to a legal injunction. That is something Al Gerhardstein is working to fight right now as well. We'll stay on top of it. Live at Cincinnati Police Headquarters, I'm Julie O'Neill, 9 on your side. All right.
Okay, let me get this straight. You tase an 11-year-old girl in the back because you think she's stealing snacks from the store and think it's okay to do it. And then it turns out by, the news clip here that it's from age 7 through 70 that cops has the right to tase a person if he or she does wrong. Now, that's unacceptable to me. From 7 to 70, that 7 is too young, number one. Number two, even if she does steal candy, why would you even tase a child? According to the story, this officer tased an 11-year-old child, 11-year-old girl. Now, like the mother said, if you don't feel like chasing that little girl, why become a police officer in the first place? You tase 11-year-old girl for crying out loud. What if she does stealing, or if she does take stuff out of the store? There's other ways to handle children, not tasing them. See, I'm telling you, and I'm glad that they basically released this little girl because the mayor told them to do it. The mayor himself said that's wrong. So the mayor told them to release the little girl, and at the end of the day, it shows that 11-year-old girls that young shouldn't even be tased in the first place. More than likely, they should be talked to. And obviously, it breaks my heart that the person so young will be tased like that. So, the police, however, claimed that what the officer did was justified because, she shouldn't even steal from the candy. Even if she did stole something, which you're right, it was wrong. But there's ways to handle the situation. You cannot just tase anybody. It's just like they said about the 17-year-old boy been tased in the chest and he died. See, something had to be done with the law, and I think that a lot of community leaders right now are trying to work on getting that law repealed about the tasing policy from 7 to 70. But again, what if that little girl died from that taser that she tased in the back? And then the parents are going to be outraged and file a lawsuit against the Cincinnati Police Department for that. See, they're right. They need to change the law. Basically, even though she was wrong, there's ways to handle it without tasing her. And like you said, if you can't chase an 11-year-old girl, why get in the badge in the first place? I'm just saying. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video. Share this video. Subscribe my YouTube channel. Subscribe my reaction channel. And subscribe my Black Junction channel for all the news and commentary. With that being said, it's Lines to sign off. Deuces.